How Conspiracy Theories Emerged in the USA. 1799. The Illuminati. A Protestant priest declared, "I have at my disposal full and undeniable evidence, a certified list of the locations and professions of the officers and members of the Illuminati Society." 1950. McCarthyism. Wisconsin. Senator Joseph McCarthy stated, "I hold in my hand a list of 57 cases of those who either have membership cards or are undoubtedly loyal to the Communist Party. We are not dealing with simple spies. We are facing far more insidious actions allowing our enemies to shape our policies." These statements are strikingly similar despite being separated by more than 150 years. Conspiratorial thinking became a core part of U.S. political culture, playing a key role in shaping American identity. Researcher Timothy Melley calls the USA an empire of conspiracy, emphasizing that belief in conspiracies dates back to the British colonists in the 17th century. Origins of conspiratorial thinking. Early settlers and fear of enemies. The first settlers in America were Puritans, who saw their mission as creating a city upon a hill, a society pure of sin and free from the corrupt influence of the Catholic Church. Their religious fanaticism and trauma from persecution in England made them deeply suspicious of outsiders. From the earliest settlements to the War of Independence, 1775 to 1783, several waves of fear of internal enemies swept through the North American colonies: Catholics, Native Americans, and witches. The imagery of these enemies often stemmed from medieval European fears. American historian Robert Goldberg notes that the struggle for faith justified brutal repressions. Native Americans as the embodiment of evil. The indigenous peoples of North America were often perceived by settlers as servants of the devil. In the 17th century, Puritans believed that the wilderness was a place where one's faith was tested, with Native Americans acting as tempters and agents of Satan. Colonists described them as subhuman primitive beings, in stark contrast to the civilized Christian. The conflict with Native Americans led to the formation of the myth of the great chief conspirator, who supposedly orchestrated all attacks. An example is Pontiac's Rebellion, 1763, which British settlers saw as part of a larger French conspiracy. A well-known incident involved British officers attempting to infect Native Americans with smallpox by giving them contaminated blankets. The witch hunts. Conspiratorial thinking was also evident in the infamous Salem witch trials of 1692. Priests accused women of conspiring with the devil to destroy Protestant churches in America. The logic of the accusations followed a simple pattern. If a person denied the charge, it was taken as proof of their guilt. One example was Martha Carrier, who refused to acknowledge the existence of witches. This was perceived as undeniable evidence of her guilt, leading to her execution. Slave rebellions. The fear of conspiracies extended to enslaved people as well. In 1712, a group of slaves from Ghana set fire to several buildings in New York and then attacked arriving firefighters. After this, when another fire occurred in 1741, the primary theory was a black slave conspiracy orchestrated by the Spanish, as Britain was at war with Spain at the time. Catholic priest John Urey was arrested and accused of leading the conspiracy. He and dozens of enslaved people were executed. Witnesses claimed he absolved the sins of the conspirators, making the accusation credible in the public's eyes. The Revolution and the British Conspiracy. As dissatisfaction with British taxes grew in the 18th century, colonists increasingly viewed the British government as the main enemy. George Washington declared, "I am absolutely convinced that there is a systematic plan formed against the colonies." The Declaration of Independence, 1776, explicitly describes British policies as a sinister conspiracy against the colonists. However, after the Revolution, the new American leaders became targets of similar accusations. Washington was suspected of seeking dictatorship, and his refusal to go to war with Britain was seen as proof of a secret connection with the crown. Freemasons and the dollar bill. The symbolism on the US $1 bill has long been a subject of conspiracy theories. The all-seeing eye above the pyramid is considered a Masonic symbol. However, historically, it first appeared on the Great Seal of the United States in 1782, before the Freemasons adopted the symbol in 1797. While Freemasons were present in American politics, Benjamin Franklin being a notable example, his proposals for national symbols were not accepted. By the late 18th century, anti-Masonic sentiments grew, leading to the founding of the Anti-Masonic Party in 1828. The 20th century and fear of communists. During the Cold War of the 1950s, fear of Soviet influence peaked. Senator Joseph McCarthy launched a campaign against communists in the government, leading to widespread persecution. However, it was later revealed that he had no substantial evidence, and his career ended in disgrace. The assassination of John F. Kennedy, 1963, spawned numerous conspiracy theories ranging from the mafia to secret government factions. This event marked a turning point in the rise of American conspiratorial thinking. Government conspiracies in the modern era. Watergate scandal, 1972 to 1974. One of the most well-documented political conspiracies in American history, the Watergate scandal involved members of President Richard Nixon's administration engaging in illegal surveillance, break-ins, and cover-ups to undermine political opponents. The scandal unraveled when journalists exposed that Nixon had been involved in efforts to obstruct justice. Facing impeachment, Nixon resigned in 1974, becoming the first U.S. president to do so. COINTELPRO, 1956 to 1971. The FBI's counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO, was a covert operation aimed at infiltrating, surveilling, and disrupting civil rights organizations, socialist movements, and anti-war activists. Among its targets were Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panther Party, and various left-wing groups. The program used illegal wiretaps, forged documents, and intimidation tactics. Its existence was revealed in 1971 when activists broke into an FBI office and leaked classified documents to the press, proving the government's illegal activities. Conclusion: the USA became the first country where conspiracy theories entered mainstream culture through its democratic system. They became a tool of political struggle, a way to explain social problems, and a means of manipulating public opinion. The term conspiracy theory first appeared in the St. Louis Daily Globe Democrat newspaper in 1881. Since then, conspiratorial thinking has become an integral part of American society.